Is the Build Back Better plan completely free and we shouldn't be worried about it? $3.5 trillion, that's free money. Is there anything in the 3,500-page bill that is a little weird and has nothing to do with roads, broadband, and infrastructure? Let's get into it on the Derek O'Shea Show. Welcome to the Derek O'Shea Show, where we discuss culture, news, politics, and more. Sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the show. Be sure to tell your friends and family about the revolution. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Derek O'Shea Show. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me. If you want to ask me any questions, be sure to call or text to 720-727-7572. That's 720-727-7572. You can call or text, leave me a message at my inbox. If you want to be a supporter of the show, go to buymeacoffee.com/Derek O'Shea Show. All one word. Buymeacoffee.com/Derek O'Shea Show. Be a supporter of the show. Support and fight for freedom of speech and independent creators. No one's telling me what to say. I will say whatever I want, whenever I want, because that's how I gets down. Build Back Better plan. Some new information coming out. We will get to at the end of the show. I will let you know about that. But let's set up the premise, because here's Biden talking about his Build Back Better plan. There's some new information coming out, folks, that I'll get to at the end of the show. Okay, let's start with Joe Biden. Here we go.
We talk about price tags.
Talk about practice. Price tags.
Price tag on the debt.
Oh my God. Did you just see what Joe Biden did? Look at that. What's that? That's a white supremacist symbol. He just did the OK symbol. I knew it. I freaking knew it. Disgusting. Disgusting. He's basically a white supremacist. We should all write a million articles about it, and we should all be losing our minds because he did the OK symbol. But no. We only do that. We only do hysterical things when it's a Republican doing it. Let's continue to listen to Joe Biden explaining his Build Back Better plan, because, you know, everything the Democrats do is just makes you feel good on the inside. It's good. It's all these Republicans are stopping progression, and they just don't. Why do these white men care so much? Oh, there's black guys in the Republican Party? Oh,
price tag on the debt. We're going to pay for everything we spend. So they say it's not, people, understandably, well, it started off at 6 trillion, now it's 3.5 trillion, now is it going to be 2.9? It's going to be zero, because in that plan that I put forward, and I said from the outset,
we're going to use monopoly money.
Change the dynamic of how the economy grows.
Oh.
I'm tired of trickle down. The trillionaires and billionaires are doing very, very well.
Like yourself.
You all know it. You've all reported it.
You and Bernie Sanders.
In the middle of this crisis. But hard-working people and middle-class people are getting hurt. And so I provide for
That's right. So we got to shut down those mom-and-pop shops, but allow Costco and Amazon to stay open. It's for your safety. Okay? It's for your safety. We're all going to shove you into 1 or 2 stores in the whole city. It's for your safety.
Example, a tax cut. If you have a child, you get a refundable tax credit. It's reduced hunger in America by 40%. Literally, for children. You have the
literally, I'm not kidding.
Notion of being able to provide for daycare for your children, getting people back to school, etc.
Come on,
it's
man.
all paid for. It's all paid for. But a lot of these are flat tax cuts that exist within my proposal, and they're being calculated as if the cost of the child care tax credit is a cost to the government. It's not.
Okay, so he's talking about the credits and stuff like that. Here's Nancy Pelosi today also saying the same thing, what he basically just said.
Not about a dollar amount. The dollar amount, as the president said, is zero. This bill will be paid.
Look at her. Once again, Nancy Pelosi doing the OK symbol. What is up with these white supremacists? It's disgusting. She's doing a weird one. It's like the blood thing you used to do in school. Blood. Hey, can you do the blood thing, bro? Look at that. That's not the weirdest. She's an alien.
Not about a dollar amount. The dollar amount, as the president said, is zero.
So they're talking about the dollar amount because they don't want to talk about anymore what's in the actual bill, because the bills, they're actually reading it and stuff, and there's stuff coming out, and we'll get to that at the end of the show about one caveat that is just came out. And do you have time to read 3,500 pages in a week? No, no one does. No bill should be 3,500 pages. I almost am empathetic towards people that are required to read this and vote on this, on bills like this. It's like the Obama healthcare tax. These bills are way too long because all these crazy bureaucrats just shove crap in and of people who are, funding their campaign and stuff like that. No, we're not going to talk about that. What have we heard about this infrastructure Build Back Better plan? Huh? We've only heard good things. Things that most people agree on. Roads. Do roads need to be fixed? Absolutely, sure. You and I use them all the time. Great. Water. Should we be drinking clean water? Doesn't that sound like a good idea? Heck yeah, it does. Broadband internet. That's debatable. I feel like we should just go with the Starlink at Elon Musk or see what he's doing and see how we can help build that back better. Free tech school first 2 years. I don't know. Just the idea of college anymore is just a joke. And childcare. I don't know, stuff like that. But in building into America, which is I'm always a huge proponent of because I think that we should spend more money in America than we do in other countries in the world. Whatever, it's tax credit and stuff like that. We have Greta Thunberg coming out. Let's see what she thinks about the Build Back Better plan.
There is no planet B. There is no planet blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah.
I can't. This is not a joke. Blah, blah, blah. Beautiful. Wonderful. Absolutely beautiful.
This is not about some expensive, politically correct green act of bunny hugging or blah, blah, blah. Build back better, blah, blah, blah.
So, Greta Thunberg doesn't even like the Build Back Better plan. Blah, blah, blah. But what just came out? What just came out about this Build Back Better plan that's just supposed to be about roads and infrastructure? Biden fine firms up to $700,000 if they fail to mandate vaccine. A vaccine enforcement mechanism has been included as part of the $3.5 trillion Build Back Better bill, which allows for a tenfold increase for fines for employees. The increased fines on employees could run as high as $70,000 for serious infractions and $700,000 for willful or repeated violations. The vaccine mandate applies to businesses with 100 or more employees. The fines could be applied per incident, meaning that only a small number of incidents could quickly bankrupt a company. The bill has been passed by the House Budget Committee and sent to the House floor to debate, blah, 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 as Thunberg says. The Biden administration has included vaccine enforcement. So there's a vaccine enforcement in this. Oh, I'm sorry. I said 3,500 page. It's actually 2,465 pages. 2,465 pages. And people are clapping this bill, excited about this bill, especially on the left, because it includes a lot of stuff they believe in. But I don't care if you're a leftist, a conservative, libertarian, a socialist. Nobody should be forced or to vote on a bill of 2,500 pages within a week. I know they have these aides, and the aides basically circle things and figure out things for what they want to think about the bill and maybe raise questions about when it comes to argumenting and stuff like that. But the idea that a bill has that many pages just shows you how bloated of a democracy we live in. It's just absolutely ridiculous. That doesn't make me feel free when I hear that I have politicians I voted for who probably haven't even finished reading the bill by the time they have to vote for this. That shouldn't make anyone feel happy and feel like, yeah, my country is being led well. Because they're voting on things they're not even reading. But this just came out. This mechanism apparently was buried in page 168 of the Democrats' reconciliation spending bill that will allow a tenfold increase for fines for businesses of 100 or more employees that willfully, repeatedly violate a section of labor law that deals with workplace hazards, of which COVID-19 is now a part. So in this bill that's supposed to be this feel-good factor bill that's supposed to be about infrastructure, he adds this little caveat. Because with all bills, there's a caveat. But right now we have NYC, the nurses being forced to be vaccinated, and you're having nurses be fired and let go a massive amount. So much so that the New York governor is considering adding the National Guard, state, and old nurses and people with licensure mishandlings and stuff like that, because they're going to need nurses more than ever. You saw where an airline just let go 265 people. American Airlines. They're creating this. If you're in a pandemic and you need workers, imagine if you're nurses and you're labeled as heroes. You worked in the pandemic. You had to face COVID to face to face. Back when we thought that if you just breathe the same air, you were just going to automatically die. Back when we thought the minute you get COVID, you're automatically dead. So we all need to lock down and not move. Those nurses were working during that time, labeled as heroes. But now you're not taking the vaccine. You're not bending the knee. You're not raising your fist. You're not a part of this new religion. You need to be gone because good riddance. Do you even believe in healthcare in the first place? As I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter say. I'm just seeing right now in a city that I live close to in Colorado, a lot of cops are leaving, quitting the force, saying because they're done with the vaccine mandates. People are clapping, said they're not even good cops anyways, or this is like an easy way to defund the police movement. But what is vaccination status even still? Fauci comes out and changes a little bit the definition of the fully vaccinated to include booster shots, because he says it's likely for a complete regimen that you would need at least the third dose. And that's what it'll eventually become anyways, is that even if you've got the vaccine, if you don't have the boosters, are you even vaccinated, bro? This thing is not ending. Australia is planning on building their FEMA camps. They're not concentration camps. They're just camps where we're holding people. And maybe soon, maybe we'll get them to work a little bit. Earn their keep. I'll keep them there. We'll make them work a little bit. This is a method to gain more power and control, as always with COVID. Daily Mail continues and said, if enacted into law, this Biden mandate, this extra mandate, the fines could rapidly bankrupt companies whose employees are not vaccinated, in effect forcing businesses to comply with Biden's inoculation drive. It comes after Occupation Safety, OSHA, published an emergency COVID-19 rule in a Federal Register of the summer, which added the COVID-19 to a list of possible workplace hazards. What about the cold? What about being overweight at your job? What about just being old? Is that a hazard? What if you have STDs? You have herpes? It's different. That's different. But like all bills, there's more to the story. And I just wanted you guys to be aware of that. I wanted you to be aware that this is in the bill. People are voting for this. Some people might not even know this. Hey, it's just about roads. It's just about broadband. Aren't you for those things? Anytime a politician tells you what's in the bill, you should always be willful if it sounds too good to be true, because it always is. No politician is just passing a bill that actually does good for the American people, and that's it. And it's not doing a wink and a nod to their own political tribalism and people who are, helping out their campaign funds. I always remember the thing of I wish politicians were forced to wear jackets like NASCAR drivers showing who they were sponsored by. Yeah, good Lord. I think you'd be surprised how many people on both sides of the aisle were sponsored by the same people. This idea that Republicans are actually conservative and Democrats are actually liberal and they're not all kind of in the same mix together is a little silly. Maybe different, maybe they speak a little different, but let's be real. As I saw some Republicans voting on the red flag laws for guns who are like Den Crenshaw was a part of that. I'm just like, really? Really, bro? Come on. Come on, man. Now the race fines can include a new bill that formulates the latest part of the president's drive to get 100 million employees across the federal government and private sector vaccinated. He said, while he got his booster shot, that he wants 97% of people to get vaccinated. If you're in a room full of 10 people, can you even get 9 of them to do the same thing? No. Have you ever led any organization where everyone's on board for everything you're doing? No. Will 97% or whatever number they finally, because they constantly move the bar, will that ever change? Will that ever be enough? No, it won't, and they know it. They know these things, but they do it anyways because it gives people on the other side of the aisle somebody to be mad at. Instead of the vaccinated people who voted for Biden, instead of them being mad at Biden for all the crap he's pushing down, gas prices rising higher than ever, inflation up high, housing, Afghan pullout, terrible stuff. I mean, the list goes on. Instead of them actually looking at him, he gave them a new enemy to stare down and consider as the other, the ones that they need to get rid of, the enemy. So they force their anger and they push their problems on the unvaccinated. Those are the real problems in America. I know I'm vaccinated and I'm safe, but it's the unvaccinated people that make me feel unsafe, which makes no sense, but they want you to feel that way. They want you to feel like the unvaccinated people are the other. That's why they constantly try to put them in groups or like unvaccinated people are Trump support. I know Trump started the vaccine. He also tells everyone to get the vaccine, but they're Trump supporters. They're basically QAnon and they're against the government and they're the ones we should be scared of. Their narrative is so dumb. I'm glad to see that people are protesting in New York City because when 72% of black Americans in New York City aren't vaccinated, that means they can't go to the restaurants. They can't go to these things. And I thought with equity, anytime there's any kind of equity anywhere, disparity, that's racist. So why aren't vaccine mandates racist? Because politicians they just say whatever they want in order to stir your emotions up. You don't have to make logical sense. You can change how you feel all the time. As long as you're stirring up emotions and allowing people to divide and not look at each other as Americans and seeing each other as equals, then they win in the end. And that's what they want. They want us. If you're a conservative, you like Trump, they want you to hate the liberals. If you're a liberal, they want you to hate, because the more they divide us, more and more. Because most of us, if we sit down and actually have a decent conversation, and I'm not talking about the people who are so entrenched in their tribalism that they can't even see truth when it hits them in the freaking face. I'm not talking about those people, because there are those people who are so entrenched in their tribalism and religion that they will see one thing. They can't handle any kind of negative feedback from Trump. They can't handle any kind of negative feedback from Biden or Nancy Pelosi, or especially on the left, AOC. God, they hate that. Anytime I talk to some of my friends who are so entrenched in the tribalism about AOC, they think that she's a brilliant, amazing woman. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? She's one of the greatest grifters on that side of the aisle that I've ever seen in my life. That video of her just crying and pretending to cry about voting present for the Israel bill, give me a break. She did that for her Instagram following to make sure she keeps up her social profile, not that she actually cares. That girl wants to run for Senate, and she wants to run for president one day because she likes the attention. Give me a break. No other reason. I can't do it. At least with like Rashida Tlaib, as much as I can't stand her politics, she's the one that votes against that Israel, bill because she has standards and she has things that she wants to live by, and I don't like that at all. Even Bernie Sanders, this idea, I hear people say this all the time, where Bernie Sanders has never faltered. He has the same agenda always. No, he's been on record on changing a lot of stuff, but he has this great narrative around him that assumes that he's never changed. The dude has changed. All you have to do is look him up. But it takes time to actually read, and it takes time to look up stuff. It's the billionaires. Oh, crap, I'm a millionaire. It's the billionaires and trillion. I want to yell at millionaires all day long and write a book about them and then become a millionaire and stop talking about them too. I want to do that. I want to not have a conscience sometimes. Seems like the easy way out. I don't know how these politicians do it. I don't know how people like Joe Biden do it. Say, like, my Build Back Better plan is about these 3 things. Okay, if this bill was just about roads, infrastructure, like real infrastructure, like roads, broadband, sure, water, electricity, power grid stuff, updating systems, I don't know, stuff that actually sounds like infrastructure, then I think a lot of people would be for it. And you put it on you could put it on 100 pages. You could put it on 50 pages. It could be a small book. It could be 15 pages. And I think people will vote for it. And people like it. But when you have a 2,465 page Build Back Better bill, you know it's bloated and you know it's full of stuff. As more stuff is about to come out that's actually buried in this bill, I'm glad that Daily Mail is reporting on this. Of course these vaccine mandates are in this bill because they're trying to figure out a way to go around him actually having to do it because it's unlawful. That's why they did it through OSHA. They're like, how do we do this unlawful thing? We can't force medical procedures on people. What if their doctor says no? As the New York governor says, hey, there's no such thing as religious exemption anymore because I've talked to all the religious leaders of all the religions, and they deem it so. I don't think that's how it works. I've talked to the Pope, and he speaks for all Christianity. I don't know anything about the Reformation. I've talked to Muslim leaders. I've talked to Jews. No, you haven't. I am so tired of our politicians and how they just cram things in bills to push their agenda when it has nothing to do with the bill. Because they don't want to actually have a conversation about it. They want to have a logical argument about it. They want to just cram things down like the Obama healthcare and just make you deal with the consequences. These people don't have to live with the things that they're doing. That's the only reason. That's another reason I can't stand some of these people, how old they are, and they don't care. They're not going to live with the consequences of things that they're voting for. I think a $3.5 trillion bill, that sounds good on the outside, but these people don't have to live like you and me with the consequences of a $3.5 trillion bill that forces people to get COVID vaccines. A lot of people are losing their jobs right now over this mandate. I saw that Border Patrol is being forced to have vaccine mandates as they're already swamped. I saw another caravan of 15,000 people coming through Mexico right now as we speak. They're using a stadium to house them, and now we're gonna lose more Border Patrol agents. Yeah, great time, Biden. These people don't care about you. They don't care about a secure border. They don't care about you having a job. They pretend all these things in order for you to get their vote. And I like the America First people. I appreciate those people because it seemed like they're pushed their necks out for real Americans, and the media hates them, and also other politicians hate them so much because they actually care about Americans. Is there a politician out there that actually cares about Americans? Is there a political party that cares about Americans? Like, for real, that doesn't care about their own agenda, doesn't care about whatever feels good in the moment? I grew up in South Carolina, and just seeing Lindsey Graham and all the shenanigans he does, it drives me insane. I can't believe I voted for that guy. Fool me once, shame on me. Period. Let me know your thoughts on this. The vaccine mandates. Are you part of a company that is going to be forced to do these sorts of things? Are you going to be like, I know like the Daily Wire came out and said that they're, which is part of Ben Shapiro and all those guys, they're going to be fighting this. We'll see how that goes. But they're just going to keep pushing the boundary. They're going to keep pushing the limit on this whole COVID thing. And no one's calling it out because we're more focused on, easy stuff. I don't know why. Why does the news talk about easy stuff when this is like a huge deal? Violation of your rights. What are rights anymore? If everything's for your safety and everything's for the common good, you no longer have individual rights. And we all saw this coming down our throats the last 10, 20 years. And people were saying stuff and people just brushed it off. But as we see Australia right now, and after they did their gun buyback program, and now there's no way for their citizens to fight against this authoritarian regime, which it is in Australia, an authoritarian regime. If you've seen some of the videos coming out, to say otherwise, I don't see any difference between what's going on in Australia and what's going on in the CCP. I don't. There might be some small differences, but how powerful that government is and how weak the people are in comparison to the government is a problem. And they'll continue to do whatever they want because these people voted for that, and there's no way to check their authority like there is in America. You're going to see more of this stuff, and you're going to see more gun laws coming down people's throats because it'll eventually be red flag laws. And then once they pass the red flag laws, then they'll do mandatory buybacks and stuff like that. Or they'll just say, we think that what you're doing on social media shows that you're against the government, and so we're come to take your guns away. Let me know your thoughts on this. I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious. If you think I'm wrong, let me know. If you think I'm crazy, let me know. I am not so entrenched in my tribalism that I am not afraid to have a conversation or not be afraid to be proven wrong. I don't care. As long as you have a good argument. There are a few people that just tell me, go die, go kill yourself, like all kinds of stupid stuff. That's not an argument. But, that's where we're at in our tribalism. We're so entrenched that we can't even have a conversation anymore because we just tell people, go F themselves, because that's what a conversation all is. That's what it is about, coming together. This idea of coming together. A lot of people say, I want to come together, but they really just mean they want their side to win. I hope you have a fantastic day, and as always, I'll catch you on the next episode of the Derek O'Shea Show. I appreciate you guys so much. I love you. Bye.